And it's Thursday. You know I love Thursdays. And for those of you who might be watching this video first, I don't work Fridays, so Thursdays are always very special to me. Well, not always, since I decided I would take Fridays off in my life. That noise that you hear is people dropping probably tweets at me. That's the noise my phone makes when there's a tweet coming in. Actually, sometimes it is a direct message that's coming in. Anyway, so I just wanted to thank you all for your encouraging words about the vlog I did yesterday, which you all knew was very difficult for me, which was I started a very serious conversation about depression, and it's one that I will continue because it obviously has had an impact on people, and as I feared it would. And when I say feared, you understand when you open up Pandora's box, you better expect things to fall out. And so both good and bad, you know, it was good to hear the people who have been there, done that, and fought their way back to their best reality, and I think I would call it that. And then the others who actually have stuff going on at the moment and who have fear that they will not be able to cope. And so both sides of that are very relevant. And of course, I was aware that if I started to talk about this at any depth, that I would get a lot more feedback from people who are having a tough time. And in a way, I'm sure that you can understand that that worried me a little bit, considering that I'm going to be not doing a broadcast this weekend, and also that my time will be limited in terms of getting back. Oh my God, that's so cute. Hang on. Do you see the eyelashes on that car? Yeah. I love things like that. That really appeals to my humor. You remember that time that I passed a car with horns? You know? It's like, you know, the things people do amuse me. Anyway, so if for any reason you write to me and I don't get back to you immediately, please be patient. There's a lot that I'm trying to answer at the moment. So let me just give you that heads up. What I really do want to say, though, is that, you know, talking about the loneliness of depression was a very important part of it. You know, you can be like Robin Williams, the life and soul of the party. You can put on that persona. You can act as if you are fine. And it is expected for you to be hysterically funny, and therefore you will be, because you have it. That is your gift. All right, let me just make sure I put it that way. That, you know, there's a difference between having humor as a gift and being happy. There's quite a difference between the two of those. And, you know, as a performer myself for many, many years, and a funny one at that, I understand that there were times that I certainly did not feel like being funny. that I was really in a funk. I was in depression, everything else. But you stick a microphone in my hand and give me an audience of 2,000 or 3,000 people, and you'll be amazed how funny I can be. And not by telling jokes, because I never did. My humor was in talking about life, as it is, or as it was for me, and is now. And so that's what made it funny. And as some of you say, it's like, give me a warning, warn me to put my coffee cup down because, you're going to make me splurt coffee all over my keyboard. Well, I don't actually plan that ahead of time. It's just that I talk. What comes out of my mouth sometimes. I want to tell you something, and some of you might actually understand this. That there was a time in my life where so many people said to me, oh, what you said was just so funny, or so meaningful, or whatever it was. And I'm going, I did? I really had no memory of doing those things. So I started to record my speeches, not for any other reason than the fact that I wanted to hear what I'd said that was so meaningful, or so funny. Because in the moment I didn't know. So what I realized was that that what comes out of me isn't necessarily conscious. And that always sounds a little weird, but it's true. So what comes out of me isn't conscious necessarily. What it is flow of consciousness. And I'm a great believer that we are all connected in some way. I've always believed that. And however tiny that thread is that connects us, it's really important to feel that connection. Now, what has connection got to do with the humor? Well, I believe that what makes things funny is when people can relate to it. Maybe it's a quirky thing that I do every day, and maybe everybody else does as well, but not many people talk about it. All right? And so if people don't talk about it, then it's really your little secret. But until maybe I start talking about it, and then what you're laughing at is not just at my experience, you're laughing at your own. And that is, I don't know why, I always think that's funnier. And I can always remember people coming up to me and saying, when you talk, it's like you're talking directly at me because you're telling my story so often. And I think it's because there is that connection. And we do some funny things, let's be honest. We do some really funny things. So, what I wanted you to all be aware of today is that I'm beginning to think about getting home tonight. I've got to bank my check tonight because it's payday for me. I might not be able to now that I think about it, because it's actually payday while I'm away. Okay, anyway, let me have a think about that one. And so I've got to pack tonight. I've got to work out, when I'm going to leave and all those sort of things. I haven't spoken to Benji yet. And I thought I would talk about expectations. I know you thought the word of the day was going to be connection, but it's actually expectations. Because I believe a lot of our disappointments in life are directly related to our expectations in life. And I thought I'd give you an example of that with this weekend. Now, it's obviously exciting that I'm off to a vloggers fair. I've never been to one. So in my mind, can I build this incredible picture that there are going to be thousands of people there, and that it's going to be a huge thing? Well, I don't know that to be true, do I? I mean, just because it's being held in Seattle, just because Benji and Judy are going, does not, and you know, a lot of other vloggers, just because Shay Carl's going to be there, doesn't necessarily mean there are going to be thousands of people there. And is there a possibility that there'll be more of us vloggers there than the fans? That's a possibility. So what I do is I intentionally don't overplay the expectation. What if I go down there going, oh, there are going to be thousands of fans down there, and we're going to have such a good time, when in fact it might end up that the whole week, sort of day, could be spent talking to other vloggers and having quite serious conversations. And so if you look at it that way, you go, wow, could that be a really interesting weekend? Absolutely. And would it be worth going to the fair? Yes, because I'm a great believer in sharing ideas, and also in, you know, hearing how other people have done it. Or are doing it, or how other people want to do it. And one of the great things about life is that you share your knowledge, as I do every morning. And so I look at it and go, I have no idea what this weekend's going to bring. And that is a healthy way of looking at it. I have no idea what it's going to bring, but my plan is to go down there and enjoy it, whatever happens. And that is a totally different mentality. And that's what I see a lot of people need to come to grips with. If your expectation always is the best thing that you can possibly imagine, then I understand that. It's a very positive thing. I can sit here and go, wow, we passed 250,000 views, and I'm on my way to 500,000 or 1 million. Yes, I can say that. I can absolutely wrap my head around that. But how do you get there? You don't get there by going, well, and I expect to get here to 500,000 within the next 6 months. Because I don't think that's realistic. It's possible. It's possible. It would require a great deal of marketing on my side, and a great deal of work that I don't necessarily have time for, or even can make time for, because I work. But, you know, it is possible. So I don't set myself up that way. I set myself up to say, yeah, I absolutely believe we can get to 500,000, and it will take the time that it takes. And all I need to do is my best. And you can understand as well that at my age, there's part of my mind that goes, yeah, have you got that much time? Really, Sal, have you got that much time? And then I remember that I don't know how much time I've got, and neither does anybody else. I don't know that I'm going to be around tomorrow. So why would I put myself under incredible stress today? Why would I do that to myself? I used to. I used to set absolutely ridiculous goals, impossible goals really, and then beat up on myself because I didn't achieve them. Now, some of you will notice that I didn't put up a time for my walk yesterday. That would be because I didn't do one. And before you go, oh gosh, it's not that I didn't do the work. It is I did that walk the night before, if you remember. But people forget very quickly, right? The day before I did 2 10-minute walks because I knew there was rain coming yesterday. Now today is just, the temperatures dropped down to 16 degrees, which would be the opposite in American. That would be 61 degrees. I just flipped the numbers over. So, but I have to tell you that it was quite funny how my mind had the expectation that I was going to go walking. And I had to give myself permission not to. It's okay, you've done that. You did it last night. Now, I know what you're saying, you could have done an extra one, and I could have done. But you know, I came home last night quite sensitive. I knew that there were a lot of emails in the inbox. I knew there were a lot of comments that were going to take a little bit of time for me to get back to. And also to control my mind as I'm dealing with other people's pain. It's really important that I keep myself in a good space and not get too overwhelmed by that sadness that I will read about or hear about or whatever. So I look at it and go, I actually planned to have a quiet evening last night. My expectation was not to do a lot last night. My expectation of myself. And I managed to get the vlog up fairly well. It didn't cause me too many problems. I managed to just kick back. I didn't do any of my blankie that I've been making. I gave myself permission to just do the very bare minimum I needed to do, because I knew that I was going to need to put out a lot of extra energy in answering the mail. So my expectation of myself was just that I do the best I can last night and pace myself and not overdo it. I got back to everybody, I believe. Took a while. I managed to get to sleep fairly well, fairly easily. I wasn't, I didn't hang on to the pain. I let it go and turned over and went to sleep. And that was good. And the reason I needed to pace myself is because tonight I will have a lot on my mind about going down to see Benji and Judy and to be at the Vloggers Fair. And so my expectation of myself this weekend is not anything other than have a fun weekend. What makes a fun weekend? A fun weekend is when I do what I enjoy doing. Now, when you are with other people, as I will be with Benji and Judy for some of the time, obviously that some of what they may want to do may not be what I want to do. Well, I'm an adult, if that is true, then I can make a different plan and not be considered to be a party pooper or whatever. Right? Or the opposite. This is called communication. I can say, hey guys, I know you're going to do X, Y, and Z, but I want to do A, B, and C, so I'll see you guys later. And that doesn't make me a bad person. Or if they say to me, hey Sal, we know you're down here, but will you be okay? We want to go and visit some friends or something. Yeah, that doesn't mean they don't like me or whatever. My expectation is that they will do what makes them happy. And let me make sure that we understand this one that we repeat a number of times. It is not their responsibility to make me happy. It's not my responsibility to make them happy. I don't need crowds and crowds and crowds of people to tell me that I'm doing the right thing with Dear Mama Sal. I know I am. And I also am smart enough to know that Dear Mama Sal is I'm just a part of it. I'm not all of it. I'm, as I keep saying, I'm like the sort of continuity of it. A lot of really great people have taken it upon themselves to help a lot of people. And we've had a couple of really great examples of that this week. There have been a couple of people that that have been quiet. And I love it when concerned people will ask, as I do all the time, has anybody heard from so-and-so? Because let's presume that this person normally is quite a good communicator and we haven't heard from them for a week. Well, that's cause for concern. Not cause for worry, just concern. Are they okay? And is it their job to keep us informed? Absolutely not. But maybe they're in a funk and maybe they need a hug. So it's happened a couple of times this week where people have written to me and said, did you hear from so-and-so? And I smile and I go, that's great. That's great. It's great that they understand that that's what friends do. Friends care enough to say, did you hear from so-and-so? And it also tells me that so-and-so has not contacted the normal people in their lives either. Apparently this person thinks the road is theirs, not mine. Haven't you seen? It's got my name written on it. And so I get really delighted when that happens, because it means we're doing the right work. But on the other hand, we also, really value people's right to not be in touch all the time. And that's fine. So you can drift in and out, and we still love you for it. And we are so pleased to see you when you pop back in again. And so I look at this whole thing and say, keep your expectations realistic and you won't be too disappointed. We talked a couple of days ago about being emotionally invested. And the way that you keep your emotions under control is to stay realistic. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Watch out for what you expect of things and other people, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.